Hey, what's up, guys? Mark Tullius here. Thank you so much for joining me today on this 7th day in a month of metal. Today I am talking about one of my all-time favorite bands, Slayer. Really huge fan. I became a fan in 1987, freshman year in high school. One of my buddies handed me a tape. He was more of a punk rock type guy. I didn't know if I was even going to like it, but then he gave me the cassette tape, and I saw the cover for was it Live Undead? And so that was super cool. I automatically became a fan. I was going to Catholic high school. I hated Catholicism, and so I was definitely attracted to their music, their lyrics, their artwork. I just thought it was fucking awesome. So on that album, top song definitely was Die by the Sword, then Evil Has No Boundaries, and Show No Mercy. As soon as I got that, I went out and I got Hallowed Point. Super awesome. How could you not like that? Probably got too much of a glare to see, but demons just dragging people into hell. That is super cool, picking people apart. Love it. On that one, I would say Hallowed Point and Kill Again, my two favorite songs. Again, the lyrics, I was all about hell, all about Satan, all about not praising Satan, but just very, very anti-Catholicism. So that helped me out a lot. So along with Hallowed Point, I also picked up Rain and Blood. I think it is their absolute best album. They've had some other really good albums that I like a lot, but for sure this is my favorite. I think Angel of Death, which starts off the album, is probably one of the greatest songs, or one of the greatest songs, and also one of the greatest starts to any album. That scream and that start is fucking incredible. There's so many songs on here that it's hard to come up with favorites. Definitely between Angel of Death and Raining Blood. But Postmortem is also super cool, and I always put those two songs together. In my head, Postmortem and Raining Blood were kind of the same thing. So those are my two favorite. Raining Blood was my ringtone for the longest time. Might even still be. If I had someone that actually called me, if I had any friends, maybe I would know. No one calls me anymore. But an incredible album. So we have Angel of Death, Raining Blood, Criminally Insane, awesome. Piece by Piece, Jesus Saves, the whole thing. Now, Criminally Insane, though, that's what I start off this with. Twisted Reunion. So at the very start, after a cute little dedication, we got Night Will Come and I Will Follow, for my victims know tomorrow. Someone recently left a review of this, and they mentioned Slayer and how that was a warning to readers so they can kind of know what to expect from the book. Yeah, the book is super dark. It's 28 horror stories, and lots of that was fueled by Slayer. That kind of imagery, that kind of darkness, giving me the okay to express those kinds of thoughts, that kind of dark and disturbing imagery. That was all of them. That's why I used their lyrics for this. There are also a couple stories in here that are based off of Slayer titles. I just got to figure out which ones they are. Oh, and before I forget, Angel of Death is in Ain't No Messiah. There is a scene where the main character, Joshua, is at a house party, his very first house party. These guys come on, they throw on Slayer, and they destroy the house, and they are moshing to Angel of Death. So I thought that was super cool to throw in there. Hopefully readers enjoyed that one. So I think I mentioned this in the very first episode, or the video leading up to this, was that I went to Catholic high school. My nickname was either Slayer or Satan. I wore Slayer shirts all the time. I also was an idiot. I carved on myself. I had a cutting problem, cry for attention, suicidal, all that good stuff. But so I would go to football practice with a big pentagram on my stomach. And it wasn't carved super deep, but it was definitely enough to leave an impression on everyone. I definitely love Slayer. I think I have proven that. And it was right around that time that my older brother Mike, who's awesome, he was the one who introduced me to heavy metal through Iron Maiden and then all these other bands. He knew what a huge Slayer fan I was. He liked them too. He took me and my friend to the Hollywood Palladium to see Slayer and Danzig and some other band. Now, that was all good. The only problem was we did not tell my parents, because they would not have approved. And but when we got back the next morning, my dad was outside cleaning the car, super pissed off. Couldn't understand why. But that was the night that that Slayer had a huge riot outside. I think I don't know if they had oversold, but they were sold out. People rioted outside. It was all over MTV News, also on regular news. So my car was on the whatever Channel 9 News. My parents saw that night. There is their car, which had a bumper sticker on it, something anti-nuclear missile. They recognized it, and someone's head was being pounded on it. And so in the morning, what my dad was cleaning off was blood and hair. He was not happy about that, about us lying, or about their car having someone's head smashed on it. But made for a good story, so sorry, Dad. That was an awesome concert. I was a little guy. I think I was probably about 15 at the time, 15 or 16, still on the small side. There was this one drunk guy that kept running into me. He kept running into other people, but it was almost like he was intentional. He kept bumping into me. My older brother, knocked him down, hit him a couple times, and then I think I threw a couple kicks. There was a whole line of guys that were lined up, and they just kept coming around and around, just kicking the guy. And it was mainly in his side. It wasn't his head. But, yeah, another fun thing. So that concert was for the South of Heaven tour, which was awesome. I love that. Just that name alone, South of Heaven. I think that's fucking awesome. I remember doing a piece of art for my art class that had that as the cover. I changed the cover, but it was the Gates of Hell, and it was called South of Heaven. But yeah, absolutely love that imagery. South of Heaven was my favorite song off of there. Then I have Ghosts of War, Mandatory Suicide. Live Undead actually sparked a story, one of my favorite stories in here, called Split Decision. And it's those lyrics, some of the lyrics in that song are a split decision that will end with me dead. And so that is where the Split Decision came from. There's another one here also, Skeletons of Society inspired Shades of Death. Shades of Death are all I see. And another one of my favorite stories. After that was Seasons in the Abyss. Really cool. I remember my brother Mike again took me to that concert, and it was either the day before or the day of the start of the Persian Gulf War. And they opened up, they may not have opened up with it, but they definitely made a big deal about it and played War Ensemble. I just remember that being awesome. That War Ensemble is definitely my favorite song on that album. Hallowed Point and Seasons in the Abyss. Seasons is awesome. I'm always playing on guitar. I was going to try to play it today, but then I realized I fucking suck at it, so no one wants to hear that shit. After that, Divine Intervention. I don't know. I wasn't that huge of a fan. I still went and saw them. That's when I saw them with Machine Head and Biohazard in Rhode Island. It was an awesome concert. I do remember that's the concert where I fucking lost my shirt, my favorite Slayer shirt. There's one of my favorites, the Root of All Evil, but it was a tank top, and in the pit it got ripped off, so I had to walk home up the hill like a mile or so, drunk off my ass, but I had a jacket on, and it was snowing, or it was really fucking cold, one of those. Like I said, it's been a long time, but that was super cool. But again, that album, yeah, wasn't that big of a fan. Ditto Head and Divine Intervention were probably my two favorite songs on that album. Good album, like all theirs, but again, I just wasn't that into it. After that was Undisputed Attitude. I was never into punk rock, just not a huge fan of it, but that introduced me to some new stuff. I really enjoyed I'm Gonna Be Your God and I Hate You. Again, anything that had hate, killing, any of that aggressive, violent stuff, I was all for it. After that, Diabolos in Musica. Again, not my favorite album. Not a lot of standout songs on there. I put down Point and Stain of Mind as my two favorite. God Hates Us All, which dropped on 9/11, which is pretty fucking crazy. Disciple, for sure my favorite song on that album. Here Comes the Pain is good, and Bloodline also pretty cool. On Soundtrack to the Apocalypse, which had, I don't know if it had, probably didn't have all their songs, but it had a shitload of their songs. The only ones I want to mention on there are Disorder, which was from Judgment Night, one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and In a God Vita, super cool remake of that song. The album after that, Christ Illusion, I thought that was a pretty good album. I really enjoyed Cult. Cult is my favorite song on that one. Eyes of the Insane, really cool. Loved that video. And Jihad would be the third favorite on that one. World Painted Blood, I wasn't a huge fan of that one. Probably, I think my musical tastes were changing. I don't know. That's just kind of, I think with all bands, it's just kind of how it goes with me. I really, really enjoy their early stuff and then kind of fall off. But on that one, Hate Worldwide is good, and World Painted Blood. And the last one, Repentless, I honestly didn't listen to a lot. Repentless, I enjoy that song. I like that video, super killer video. You Against You and Atrocity Vendor. So, not my favorite, but it's fucking Slayer. So if I had to listen to that or something else, I'm probably going to go with Slayer. Again, super influential band. Definitely owe them a lot for all the dark imagery. Just giving me permission to write creepy, screwed up, super disturbing stuff. Yeah, so thank you to Slayer for all the great music, all the great influence. I appreciate it, and I will listen to you guys for a long time coming. All right, guys. That's it. I am not sure what is going to be up on tomorrow's schedule, but I do promise it will be heavy metal. All right, stick around, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Later.